Hi, I'm Gia Mills and welcome to True Reflections, the beauty podcast where I get my guests to reflect on how they really feel about their appearance when the glare of the media is upon them. So, don't forget to follow us wherever you're watching or listening, and you can find us on Instagram and TikTok by searching at True Reflections Podcast. Now today, my guest is a therapist. She's an author and she's the founder of the I Am Enough movement. Her book, Your Mind, Your Rules, is out to buy now. So please welcome, to tell her beauty journey and to tell you that you are enough, it's Marisa Peer. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you very much for coming in. I have been a fan for a very, very long time.
Oh, thank you.
And so I feel very blessed that you can share some wise words of wisdom with our listeners and get top tips, which I think in a busy world is really important. So my first question to you, I know you were born in Newcastle. You lived in Cambridge, but then you went to America when you were young. And I was fascinated that you were a personal trainer for Jane Fonda, yeah. I used to have Jane Fonda cassettes and used to do her workouts. So anyone who's too young may not remember much about Jane Fonda, but she was the guru for fitness. She was. And you're a PT there, and you have said that you had eating disorders. There was a huge eating disorder. People were very conscious about how thin they were. When did you then realise, or with having that sort of like eating disorder, was that the time that you went, can I be enough now? How did that journey happen for you?
So I wanted to be a child psychologist. My father was a head teacher and I saw the joy he got from helping children. So I was like, I'm going to go into that business too. And I did go to teacher training college back in Newcastle. And I realised it wasn't really for me. And it was almost by a fluke that I went. So I came to London. I was teaching at Pineapple Dance, which was a huge thing.
Oh, yes.
And then Debbie Moore. She's an amazing woman. And from Pineapple Dance, I went out to LA. I was going to work at Pineapple Dance Studios in New York, but I ended up by a fluke in California, working for Jane Fonda. And I loved it all, but I would say every third girl there, and Jane's very honest about it too, she had a terrible eating disorder. She lived on yogurt, and she was married to Roger Vadim. So every third girl was bulimic, anorexic, exercise compulsive, or body dysmorphic. Well, they had orthorexia, they only eat like organic strawberries. And I remember thinking, this is a mental illness that they're trying to fix with aerobics. And you can't fix a mental illness with aerobics, because one of the rules of the mind is emotion will defeat logic every single time. In a battle between emotion and logic loses, emotion wins. I mean, you wouldn't say to an alcoholic, come on, have a lovely cup of tea, when they wanted a glass of wine, because the emotion can't be defeated by logic. So I realised that I could do something, and I trained in hypnotherapy. As it happened, it was quite a stroke of luck. My two flatmates, one was anorexic, one was bulimic. One would eat one frozen grape, and the other would defrost a whole cheesecake and cry while she ate the whole thing. So I practiced on them, and I fixed both of them really easily.
Wow, just by hypnotherapy?
Well, because hypnotherapy is very clever. It takes the mind back to where you learn this, because no baby is born overeating. You can't make a baby overeat. No child of 4 says, I feel so bad I ate a cake. So this is learnt behaviour. If the mind learns a behaviour, it can unlearn it. So I realised I could do that. And so for a couple of years, I was having a wonderful time. I was the eating disorder queen in Beverly Hills. I was so busy. And people would call me and go, hey, I know you work with eating disorders, but I've got a fear of bees or elevators, and I only want to come to you because my neighbour said you changed their life. And then I realised, this is much more interesting. So then I began to see people for everything, and I absolutely loved it. I still do.
When did you feel you were enough? As in, if you were in that world, the Jane Fonda world, you felt it had to be thin. And you didn't feel...
I didn't feel it in there, because you live in a leotard every day, and all the girls there had this diet oatmeal, diet hot chocolate, diet yogurt and Coca-Cola. That's what we lived on. Terrible diet, actually. So even though I looked fit and I was teaching all day and running around in a leotard, I didn't feel enough. It's when I became a therapist and realised that I could help people. And of course, when you change someone's life every week, you change your own in the process. And my father always told me that if you can help other people, that's what life is all about, making a difference. And he was right. So as a therapist, I gained my self-esteem because I would help people who couldn't have children, have a baby. I'd help people who had phobias and couldn't get on an aeroplane. But of course, in the training, I also helped myself, because that's where the I'm enough movement came from. All my clients is I'm not enough. Famous clients, rock star clients, supermodel clients, and people like police officers or flight attendants, they all said the same thing. Inside, I'm not enough.
But probably in different ways. They're not necessarily, it's not those words. It's
so
like,
many ways.
I'm not lovable, I'm not clever enough, I'm not all the things that I guess get programmed.
The big ones were I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not educated enough, and the biggest one was I'm not worthy enough. So there are many, many ways to feel not enough. In fact, the list is probably exhausting. And it's not true, but of course I felt not enough. I felt that all my childhood. And then I realised that I could change it, so I did.
So you, by teaching in yourself, to help other people, obviously that by osmosis or whatever, it gets ingrained into you, which is a beautiful thing. And also by giving, by not focusing on the aesthetic like you were in Jane Fonda, I guess you were more about giving. And when you start doing that, as you say, it's a beautiful thing. So you've written some brilliant books which are bestsellers, and I think you've probably helped millions of people. And your new book, Your Mind, Your Rules, what, moving on, or is it digging deeper into I'm not enough? What's the purpose of the book? What are people learning in there?
Well, my last book was all about client case histories that you could look at and say, which one are you? But this one is really about the rules. The mind has certain rules, and if you don't understand them, it will never be your ally. When you come back, oh, this is a rule. If I understand this rule and apply it, I can change my life. So it was really laying out some very simple rules. Here's an easy one. The brain has one time zone, it's called right now. So if you're trying to better yourself or do affirmations, and you say next year, I'm going to be slim, next year I'm going to find love, next year my business will take off, the brain doesn't even hear it because there's no what next year is. So here's a very simple way. You must add the words now, right now, this minute, immediately, instantly to your visualization. Love is coming to me now. I am becoming super successful right now. I'm getting a super healthy body right now. It may sound a bit weird. You go, I'm actually doing the ironing. How's that working? I'm finding love. But the brain can only action what makes sense to the brain. So, for instance, if you say, I'm trying to fall asleep, the word trying implies failure.
True.
The brain's greatest fear is of falling. That's why we go up to a high building and our stomach does a somersault. So trying to fall asleep, trying to fall pregnant, that really confuses the brain. You're not trying, you're not falling. And being pregnant is no guarantee you'll ever have a baby. If you say I'm conceiving a perfect child, the brain can action it because it makes sense. So the brain responds to words that make a picture, and it moves it. So if you say, I'm trying not to fail, you're focusing on the word. If you say, I'm trying not to think of Cadbury's chocolate, well, guess what you're thinking of? So it's just showing you, look, the brain has some very simple rules. It can be your best ally. It can give you anything you want, but you've got to learn how to dialogue with your brain. So I could give you a quick example. The word want comes from lack. I want love.
Sorry, just start that again with a quick example.
Okay. I'll give you a very easy example. The word want comes from lack. I want love. I want attention, I want success. The word require, the brain loves to require. When you say, I require success, your brain says, okay, let's work out what you have to do to get it. When you say want, you just stay wanting. And here's another one I love. People say, this is so hard. It's so hard having a kid. It's so hard being married. It's so hard trying to learn something. If you say it's unfamiliar, the brain recognizes that you will make it familiar with repetition. So that's just two things you can do that actually change your entire life. I require it.
Is it things like when you've got a lot on your plate, there's a lot going on, and I think we're overwhelmed with stuff, and actually start reframing it rather than I've got to.
Yeah.
It's like, I get to.
I get to. Yeah, I get to is a.
I get to interview you today.
Yeah, I get to go to.
But
I get to go to work and make money. Yeah, get to is good.
So is it reframe? It's about the language that you're using to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's reframing that language.
Sure.
And then that helps you feel better, and I guess, are you quite into sort of how energy works? And because I often find if I change my script to myself, it sort of changes how I feel in my energy, and then good things start happening.
Yeah, well, people don't understand that words have energy. You're energy, I'm energy, but words have energy. If you say the word brutal or terror or pain, that's why when you're giving birth, you shouldn't say labour, because these words cause pain. But then other words like joy, happy, successful, are very good words. So, the BBC did a study where they took people into a room and had them say words fragile, old, decrepit. And when they left, they were walking so slowly, like they were going to break. Took another group in and said the words bountiful, joyful, gambling, happy, light, and they practically ran out of the room, because your brain is always listening, and you've got to be very careful. The words you use shape your reality. If you don't like your reality, go back and change your language. And then we also do this thing, we say, I've got chronic pain, I've got a chronic headache, I've got the worst cold in the world. So we amplify something we don't want. Only amplify the things you do want.
It's focus. That sort of what that phrase is about, focusing. What you focus on comes about, sort of thing. And if you're focusing, the script is flipped.
Well, that's one of the rules of the mind. Whatever you focus on, you go towards. So if you have a needle put in your arm and you look at it, it hurts. If you cough as it goes in, you don't even register it.
That's very true, because it is. Our brains are utterly phenomenal pieces of kit that we don't tap into enough, and it seems like you've spent many years tapping into understanding it properly. And this one of your many books, this one in particular, is a really good one at helping people hack and harnessing that power. What are the main things you want people to take away from reading the book?
I think your brain is literally a proof-making robot. That's all it is. If you say, I get sick every winter, I get every allergy going, every summer I get hay fever, your brain must now prove that, because your mind's job is to actually make your thoughts real. After all, if you think of something sad, your eyes will fill up with tears. You think of something food-related, your stomach rumbles. So once you get it, that your brain is going to prove what you tell it, and you tell it better things. For instance, say every day I've got the worst memory in the world, and see how quickly that becomes true. Then say I have an incredible, amazing, reliable, enviable memory. You really want to amplify it. Don't just say I've got a good memory. Say amazing, incredible, powerful, dependable. The brain will also prove that, because your brain doesn't know if what you're telling is good or bad, beneficial or limiting, useful or useless. It doesn't know, it just lets it in.
So the book you wrote about being young, how to look young. So obviously this is an aesthetic beauty podcast. We talk about all sorts of parts about how one's appearance. So with that, based on that sort of premise, if people did want to look young, how do you trick the brain or encourage the brain to make you look or feel you look younger?
Well, you've got to think young first. If you look at someone like Goldie Hawn or Sally Field, they're very girly, always giggling, and they have that girly. I mean, Goldie Hawn is 80, but still has that girly energy. Again, it comes down to how do you talk to you? Do you say at my age, or I'm so tired because of my age, I can't remember because of my age, I can't do that because of my age. And people say I'm so cranky, I'm so tired, I keep forgetting things. But go to any child's classroom at the end of the day and you'll find a lunchbox, a coat, a bag. It's because of their age, you see. So don't add the words it's my age, and do very youthful things. We have 3 ages: our biological age, which is our birth certificate age, and then we have our psychological age, the age we feel. Then we have a chronological, which is the age your body is. So if you were a runner and you ran in the sun and you were 40, your skin here would be 50, but your heart and lungs would be 30. So your body starts to age on its own timetable. If you do yoga, if you're happy, if you have a lot of orgasms, you're younger than someone who's very stressed. So discard the biological age, it's really irrelevant, and work on your chronological age. And the age you feel is linked to the age of your body. So what are the young things you can do? Laughing, having great sex. Orgasms tell your brain you're making a baby. And if you're having orgasms at 65, your brain still thinks you're making a baby, and it will slow down everything because you've got to make that baby, but you've also got to raise it.
So it needs you to be young to raise it.
Yeah, yes. I mean, the brain is very clear. You're here to reproduce. So when you have an orgasm, it thinks you're making a baby, but you've also got to get out of bed and raise that baby. So it will slow down aging. Laughing slows down aging. Orgasms slow down aging. Singing and dancing slow down aging. Meditating slows down aging. They also boost your immune system. Being very stressed, being very anxious, being very negative accelerates aging. So what can you do? You know, put on great music, dance around the kitchen table, act in a childlike, not childish, childlike manner, you know, draw some pictures, watch cartoons, listen to music you dated your first partner to. Because the brain will always go back to work out what something means. If I hear Barry White, I'm now 17 with my first boyfriend, who was also called Barry. And that song, you see, songs take you back, smells take you back, and tastes take you back. If you say apple pie makes me think of my grandmother, or Chanel No. 5 reminds me of my mum. So smell, the brain is very linked to smell. Pleasure is linked to smell. It's the first sense, the first regressive sense. So I always have shower gels that I love. I love Jo Malone's Grapefruit. It's always my favourite. But I always have smells around me because they make me so happy. But if you have a smell from your younger years, it will remind you. So if you used to wear Shalimar when you were 20 and you buy it again, you'll feel like you're 20 every time you put it on.
It is amazing how smells do work like that. And I think what seems to be you're saying, it's about joy. It's about do things that give you joy, because you can't always eradicate like the trials of life, because they're going to come, that's life.
Sure.
But what can you do to inject bits of joy that people can...
And smell, you know, if you smell your coffee, this coffee's sensational. If you have the music playing, this song makes me so happy. If you link some positive words, this is sensational, this sparks joy, this makes me happy. I wake up to birdsong and I feel happy. I wake up, I love my linen sheets, I feel happy. I love my shower gel. You can train your brain to find happiness in any moment. A lot of us wake up and go, it's 8 o'clock, I've got to get in the car. I wake up to birdsong, and I wake up with my cats in my bed. And if you teach your brain to say, this makes me so happy, you become a happy seeking person. And of course, because whatever you focus on, you go towards, you start to be happy. Like if you ask someone, is you happy, they'll say, the sun, the stars, the water, the trees. It's never, that Dior handbag. It's little things that make us happy. And products, actually, the smell of them, the feel of them. I use oil on my face when I go to bed, and I always buy oils that I love the smell of. Just before I go to bed, I love that smell.
So also keeping on the kind of aesthetic area, so society, commercially, everywhere, it's like we are told on a daily basis, particularly if you're selling a product to someone, a beauty product, you are not enough.
Of course.
I mean, it's literally everywhere we look, particularly as women.
Yeah, very hard.
Our aesthetic, we are not enough. What can we do? What are the 3 things that a woman can do with all this in society going on to feel like they're more enough?
Well, the first thing is, of course, is to say, I am enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. The mind learns by repetition. You have to say a lot, I'm enough. And of course you'll object to that, and it's you objecting, it's not your friend. So when you hear a voice going, but I'm not really enough because I don't have designer clothes, I don't own my own home, I got a horrible little car and I want a nicer one, then you go, well, that's all true, but I'm still enough. So you add in the objections. I am enough, but I don't have a designer wardrobe. Well, who cares? I'm still enough. So you have to really amplify that sense of enoughness. You were born enough. No baby says, I'm not enough, I haven't got to do your baby grow. They have no idea. I've got fat thighs down here and no hair, and my eyes are going in a strange direction. Babies have no idea they're not enough. The very good news is you were born enough. You haven't really lost it. You buried it and you can get it back. We are overexposed to fake images of perfection over 400 times a day. From putting on the radio, the TV, the laptop, the phone, there it is. Other people seem perfect. We have an epidemic now of bulimia and anorexia because we think everyone else has got a perfect body and we haven't. You know, by all means use social media, but don't look at magazines and think that's real. You know, if I watch Friends, there isn't a waitress in the world who lives in Central Park. I mean, that's just craziness. But, you know, if you watch a show like Friends, they live in Central Park, the most expensive part of New York. They've all got perfect bodies, perfect hair, perfect lives. So that's an overexposure to a lie. You buy a magazine like Hello, everyone's got a perfect house. You look at someone like Kim Kardashian and go, oh, I don't look like that, but she doesn't look like that either. So we have to remember this is not real. And then
it's an illusion.
Roald Dahl said, if you smile, you're beautiful, and if you frown, you're ugly, no matter what your age is. So try and radiate happiness, smile, sing, dance, find something that sparks joy in you.
And it's free.
It's free.
Because the thing that worries me a lot is I see so much of the science development of so much that women can do to their faces to look younger. So you watch the Met Gala, you see Cannes Film Festival, and these women who are like 60, they look about 45. That costs a huge amount of money.
Look at Kris Jenner with that. I mean, she looks amazing, but that probably cost £100,000.
And what you seem to be saying is it's about the things you can do. Your brain, your thinking is free.
Yeah.
Your energy, your sense of joy is free. And yes, you may take a photograph at 58 that you might have a few lines because you can't afford Botox. But if someone's in the presence of you, that is there is a beauty in that, because their energy and their joy and the sparkle seems to be, because it's a difficult one with how much money you have to how good you look.
But also, if you are stunningly beautiful, it's very hard when that goes. If you never had it, you never lose it. So someone who's a writer, a poet, someone like Jennifer Saunders who's funny, they don't worry about losing their looks, because that didn't define them. One of my clients said that when she walked into a room, people would gasp. And the day they stopped, she tried to kill herself because she didn't know who she was. She was a head turner, and then suddenly she wasn't. And so if you're a model, that's all great, but there's always someone younger coming up right behind you. So look at Cindy Crawford and her daughter, who looks just like her. I mean, I'm sure for her it's great because it's her daughter, but actually being stunningly beautiful can be a curse, because that's who young people say, oh my God, you've aged. Gosh, you've got so old. I met Elizabeth Taylor, and she said, people come to say how old and fat I've got, and you know what? I never disappoint them. It was so sad. But if you think of someone who's Bridget Bardot, stunning, but people will go, oh my God. They expect her to always look like that, and she kind of became reclusive because she said, I don't care, but I think it hurt her a lot. People would say, oh my God, is that Bridget Bardot? She looks awful now. But if you've never had it, you know, my client was Molly Parkin, and she was a funny artist, and she had that until the day she died. So if you're worried you're not being beautiful, for some people it is the bane of their life, because it doesn't last that long. You're in a taxi, the meter's running, and there's always someone younger, taller and prettier than you coming up right behind you.
Because none of us are perfect, and perfect is exhausting. But tell me, you know, in one's imperfection, any makeup fails you've had? Because if we're not perfect...
You know, I did have I remember putting this gel blusher on. Actually, I had a makeup fail when I flew here last week. I was on the plane, and I thought it was a night flight, 2 a.m, and I thought I had a sachet of moisturiser in my makeup bag, and I put it all over my face, and I woke up, and I'd actually put foundation all over my face. It was all over my shirt. But I thought I'd put this, because I try to put cream on when I'm flying, and I got up and thought, oh my God, I look so bizarre. So I've had many, you know, the gel blusher that you forget to rub in, the lipstick stain that never comes off. I've had a few. I think one of the worst was I used the self-tanning drops on my face, and they actually highlight pigmentation.
Yes.
So although your face looks kind of darker, so is all the pigmentation.
But I think it's kind of, there's something about when people aren't perfect and like they have a makeup fail.
Yeah.
And I ask that question to people because if someone's listening to this, I want them to feel that the person they might be seeing that looks like they have the perfect life, they're not perfect.
Of course
and
not.
that makes us feel connected. It's like, thank God you're not perfect either. And actually saying that we're not perfect and not trying to pretend we are whether that's your makeup fails or something going wrong, it just makes you feel more connected and human.
Yeah, I would say with all my clients, the ones who want to be perfect are the unhappiest and the loneliest and the most dissatisfied, because here's the race to be perfect. Here's the thing, and you get to it, it moves again and again. You will never be perfect. And if you could, you can't keep it. What you are is a flawed person having flawed relationships with flawed people. I call it being flawsome. And being flawsome is a great place to be. It's forgiving and it's kind. Being perfect is lonely, but it's also unattainable. You can't be perfect.
How do we embrace that? Is it something like, there are certain things, I'm not always good at maths and things. It's like, do I just, I don't want to reinforce my negative thought of myself that I've programmed into my head, but can I embrace that? How do I embrace my imperfections?
So you say, my gift is to be an incredible makeup artist. My gift is to help women recognize it. My gift is to be a great therapist. I happen to not be a great chef. I'm not a great gardener. I have no idea how to plumb a toilet. But imagine if you were good at everything. You would never employ anyone. You do your own tailoring, you do your own cooking, you plumb your own, you tailor your own house. Nobody would have a job. We're already freaked out about AI taking our jobs. But if everyone had the same gift, life would be horrible. So my gift is therapy and writing. Someone else's gift is IT. It's not my gift. Someone else's gift is being an architect. So you have to celebrate your gift and say, this is my gift, and I'm so glad you've got your gift. And don't compete, because comparing steals your joy. So just remember, you are here to do one thing: find your gift, perfect your gift, and share your gift. I'm sure Adele isn't trying to be a nail technician or a hairdresser or a plumber or an architect. She's just a singer.
Is it a way that you can kind of like, I would like to be good at gardening, but I'm not great at gardening and I actually can't be bothered to do it. And I kind of almost want to say, do you know what? I'm embracing my lack of ability to be a gardener, but I'm good at sitting in the garden.
Well, when you try to be good at everything, you become a jack of all trades. And a master of none. I mean, even if you go to a school, you won't say, hey, we've got one teacher. They teach every subject. You have a history teacher, a PE teacher, a drama teacher. If you go to a hospital, they go, hey, we've got one doctor. He's a chiropractor, a paediatrician, a heart surgeon, a skin... But you think, oh, my God, he can't be very good. He's diluting himself. So in the world, we like experts in one thing. We don't want someone to be good at everything.
But running a business, so I'm over lots of beauty brands and do all sorts of things. And people expect you to be good. If you're if you do startups, you've kind of sometimes got to be good at everything.
Yeah.
What would you say to people who are embarking on that kind of thing, or or single mothers who are juggling loads of stuff? How to mentally cope when people expect you to be good at everything?
Well, when you're having a startup, you do have to do that. On your way to success, you have to do a lot. But so let's imagine you're a startup as a beauty therapist. You have something called YouTube where you can find out all the tutorials on how to be your own PR, how to be your own marketer. But I would say get an intern as fast as you can. I mean, be good to them, help them, but get someone to help you. And then when you've got a bit of money behind you, the best money you'll ever spend is using someone else's brain power. Do not try to be a marketer. Don't try to be all of those things. Focus on what you are good at. Even if you saw the interview with Victoria Beckham, she said the big mistake she made was employing the wrong people. And she does all her own makeup tutorials. So there's a lot of people who've become multi-millionaires from makeup. I mean, I know Anastasia, the brow queen. Who would have thought you could be as wealthy as she is just from shaping brows? But we're so lucky we can sit at home and learn everything from YouTube and Instagram. I mean, there are people who are showing you what to do, and if they've done it, you can do it. So if you want to be in the field of makeup, spend a lot of time studying. Find your gift. You'll never succeed at doing something you hate. Find what sparks joy. Maybe it is makeup. Maybe it's skincare. Find your gift. And then you need to spend a lot of time perfecting your gift, and then take your gift to the world. And you see a lot of people who make it, there are 3 ways to be successful. You inherit a business, hardly any of us get that. You create something brand new like the iPhone, or you take something already there, like Lululemon did not invent stretchy black leggings. Sephora, I mean, they took a beauty hall and made it into a standalone shop. So see what's out there and look at what's good, but also look at what people are doing that isn't good enough, because that's your in. What is someone amazing not doing well enough? So many people take a product and make it better. You know, if you look at Dyson, he didn't invent a hairdryer. He's the 7th richest person. He made an existing product better. So in the world of beauty and skincare, what is out there that you could improve? You know, I love these lashes. I've got the Hourglass that you just do that, and I don't have to take them off with. I love those. What are they called again?
Well, there's the ones
the tubes.
Yes,
I love Hourglass
mascara.
tubes because you just do that and they come off.
So talking about that.
Yes.
What are your favourite products? What are the products you go to make yourself feel?
I love lipstick
joy?
that never comes off. I wear this Nars Save the Queen. I buy 5 tubes at a time. It never comes off. I put it on in the morning, put a bit of blur it out with a bit of balm, and it stays on all day and all night too if you want it to. So that makes my life so easy because it never comes off. I love the Hourglass tube mascara. I love Bare Minerals foundation. I just put it on in the car. I mean, I don't.
It's supposed to help your skin breathe.
Yeah.
It's great because you spend time in the heat, so it's a good product to have.
For me, it's more, you know, I have this. Have you heard of Beauty Effect, the beauty box?
No.
See, that's a great story. She was a dentist and everything, and she created this box called Beauty Effect. I have 2, and you open it up. It's got 5 different lights. Put it in the car, and if you're in traffic like I am, you can do your whole makeup in the car. So I have my few things in there. And where I live in Dubai, it's always an hour in traffic. And I also have the Dyson chargeless hair straighteners. I do my hair in the car. You've got to make sure they're charged.
Are you driving at this point, or is someone else driving?
No. My husband is. I wouldn't be straightening my hair and driving a car. That would be really bad news. So if you're not driving, you can get these cordless Dyson straighteners. In fact, the Dyson hairdryer changed my life. I could do my hair in 5 minutes. I could never do that before. And I paid £500 for that hairdryer. It's worth every penny.
Because they're very, very clever. I just bought a cordless Dyson Hoover and just not relating to anything, but it's changed my life because I don't feel anxiety when I see dirt on the floor. All these little things
and the
that
robot.
give us joy.
My husband is very messy. Oh, so messy. So I have the little robot vac, and I just send it down the island and back, and so I don't worry anymore that it gets food all over the floor.
These things give us joy. These little
things that change your life by making it easy. So, and of course nowadays you don't have to buy the Dyson because there's so many people who've copied it. So when you get a good product, it will be copied. But if you look at that, the robot vac, the Dyson hairdryer, the Dyson vacuum cleaner, I love products that make my life easy. So I would say the little charging pad you can take out and attach to your phone. You don't have to think, oh my God, my phone's run out of power. You don't have to carry a plug and a flex. So for me, anything that makes my life easy, and beauty products. And I like the powder because I can put it on anywhere. I don't even look in a mirror. You can just buff it on. I don't have to keep putting makeup on. So the 3 things I love, the Bare Minerals, the Nars lipstick, the Hourglass mascara. I also love great skincare. I love the smell of it and the feel of it. And
you say, what's your oil at night? You say that the smell that you love. You said you love putting an oil on at night.
I have a few. I have NUXE. I love NUXE, the organic one. So nice. I have... what's it called? Not the Vampire's Wife. It's the one I got from Goop.
Oh,
Vinctor's Wife or something like that.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one.
It's a really nice oil. I have so many different ones. I rotate them around. And I tell you what I do love, Tata Harper Oil Cleanser.
Yes, those
oil
cleansers.
I love that.
They are gorgeous. When you are tying in your I am enough, when you're in the morning, there is that moment when we're putting on our makeup. What could you say to someone that they could say to themselves when they're applying their makeup in the morning? Because it's a beautiful moment. Sure.
Well, first of all, make sure you have it on your mirror. You can write it in lipstick or by one of those transfers. You just stick it on. And as you're putting in the cream and say, I'm enough, and say I have beautiful skin, I have lovely sparkly eyes, I've got a beautiful heart. Don't focus on, is my skin perfect, am I a size 0? But as you're doing your makeup or doing your hair, say, I'm a really good person. I'm kind. I'm loving. I got lovely sparkly eyes. And, you know, my grandmother, when I stood, she was very old. Her face looked like lace. I would trace all her lines, and it was like lace. And I thought she was so beautiful. She had arms like a side of ham. But there was that was my favourite place. To be in her arms was my best place. And I had a mother who was strikingly beautiful. For me, my grandmother was beautiful because she was so kind, so maternal. My mother was always on a diet. lived on ski yogurt. But my grandmother was always making cakes and would have me, you know, mixing it and licking the bowl. So I found her beautiful. But my mother, I didn't notice how beautiful she was. In fact, I didn't really like it because she wasn't like my friend's mother. She wasn't maternal. She wasn't baking and cooking and doing all the things like my gran would take me to bingo. My mother would never have dreamt of doing that. So as a child, I found my elderly grandmother so beautiful because she was beautiful inside, whereas my mother, who was actually stunning, I didn't notice it because she wasn't very happy. She wasn't fulfilled.
She wasn't feeling joy, whereas sounds like your grandmother really felt joy. And I think I've learnt a lot today.
My grandmother used to take me to pick brambles and make jam, and I still remember that. I mean, it was a free thing to do, but we'd pick berries and make jam, and I always remember the joy. My mother would never do that. My mother never ate jam. Too many calories.
Yeah, it's sort of, we're just not giving ourselves such a hard time and talk to ourselves more beautifully seems to be.
Well, love yourself. You know, again, Roald Dahl was right. If you smile and you radiate happipiness, you know, like Maya Angelou's, people don't remember what you did or what you said. They remember how you made them feel. But maybe you should remember how you make yourself feel. What do you do that makes you feel good? Do you wake up to a nice song? Do you put on beautiful face cream? Do you put on a bit of lipstick? Oh, I feel better, I've got my lipstick on. If those things make you happy, then that's what you should do.
I love this. Marisa, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I've loved it, and you've given me a lovely bit of what makes me happy and makes me feel that warmth, and that's what interaction. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, Marisa, your book, Your Mind, Your Rules, is out to buy now.
It is.
That's it for True Reflections this week. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. You can find me across your TikTok and Instagram by searching at True Reflections Podcast. I'll be back next week with another celebrity to talk through their beauty experiences, their favourite products, and delve deeper into how the ideals of beauty shapes not just our physical appearance, but the core of our identities. Until then, have a lovely week.